So we're about to board the Island Queen to go on our Thousand Islands boat cruise. It's about three and a half hours long. Got some priority boarding tickets, so we get to sit on this nice comfy patio, and they'll come and get us when it's time to board the ship. Let's get the front seat. What do you think? You want to sit here? All right.
So if you watch the person with the life jacket, please, I'd appreciate it. What they have is a keyhole style life jacket. That keyhole style life jacket, they're going to take the straps and drop it to the floor. Make sure you're not wearing any hats, glasses, anything that's going to hinder putting it on. Once you've done
We were celebrating 100 years of Canada. None of it was not yet considered a territory. Now, as we continue to turn, you will see a circular limestone tower to the right of the boat. This is Sherrill Tower, and this tower is one of 4 Martello towers that stand here in Kingston. And I'll talk a bit more about them as we continue throughout our journey today. River and the St. Lawrence River. Now, during the War of 1812, the Royal Naval Docker was used to counter potential attacks from the American bases Oswego and Sackett's Harbor and helped to arm Lake Ontario against them. Now, since Lake Ontario was blocked in, the large naval ships had to be built on the lake itself. Now, this was an active military site from this is Cedar Island, and the tower on top of it is known as Cathcart Tower. Now, the distance between Fort Henry and Cedar Island, that body of water there, used to be known as Hamilton Islands. We are currently sailing on what is known as the Canadian Middle Channel, and as the name suggests, it is the middle of the 3 channels which ships can navigate through. Now, it was operated as the main shipping channel prior to the opening of the St. Lawrence Seaway in 1959. And when the St. Lawrence Seaway opened, it allowed larger vessels up to about 730 feet in length to travel into the Great Lakes. However, vessels of this size were not able to navigate the St. Lawrence Seaway, so they were forced to use the second of the sailing channels, the American or the Seaway Channel. And that channel runs on the south side of Wolfe Island, which is currently to the right of the boat here. Now, the third sailing channel is also the smallest. It is known as the Bateau Channel, and we are going to be sailing along this channel on our way back to Kingston today. Of the St. Lawrence National Parks in 1904. Now, this protects the ecological systems of the Thousand Islands and recognizes the connection that they have within the Frontenac Axis. Now, this is the seaway that connects Algonquin Park in Ontario to Adirondack State Park in New York. Now, the St. Lawrence Islands was named as one of 4 national
Spectacle Islands.
hair. Broke me throat and cut your hair. On your lips she drew in hallelujah. 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 Thank you, sir. Well, thank you very much. Now, I'm going to be here most of the afternoon, just providing a bit of atmosphere. You know, so you don't have to clap every time. We're just relaxing. Hang on 1 second. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic energy. He said, son, can't you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes. It's sad and it's sweet. And they were singing, bye bye, some American pie. Drove a Chevy to the lake, but the levees dry. Good old boys drinking whiskey and pie. Say this will be the day when I die. This will be the day when I die. 10 years we've been on our road. Moscow's been a rolling stone. But that's down the street. The carpool was a journey. And the burden could be returned. Well, the wedding read that book on Mars. I used to walk through the shade. Without keys, but I'm not afraid. There's a robot crossed over. I haven't got much sense. I hear returns on my body. No dust on my feet. On the sunny side of the street. The sunny side of the street. The sunny side of the street.
Halfmoon Bay is an island of tradition, and each summer since 1887, on Sundays, they would hold local church services on the island. Now, the first pews used during this service were rowboats. Since locals would mainly row to nearby islands to visit neighbors and friends, as well as to gather supplies throughout the Thousand Islands. They would also row to church and then sit in their own rowboats during the services. Now, to facilitate these services, the minister still continues to use a block of granite located at the water's edge, which is shaped as a pulpit, to deliver his sermon. Now, the most interesting part about these services is the fact that each week a different religious denomination is invited to these services, and each week all religions are invited to attend. Now, in the cove of trees here, you will soon be able to see the crescent moon. This brown boathouse to the left of the boat. Next to it to the right, in this little alcove, is where you will see this crescent moon hanging from the trees there.
You see it?
Went on the water, he followed the sound of an automated bell on his dock, which would ring at regular intervals and lead him home. Hay Island is to the left of the boat. That when the Chapins came here to the Thousand Islands to purchase an island, none that were for sale suited their fancy, which prompted them to build this artificial island here on the naturally occurring shoal.
Didn't like any of the islands, so he bought his own, or made his own.
Now, as we turn to the right of the boat, you will see a peculiar looking cabin. This cabin is known as Napoleon's Hat. It is named after the hat worn by the French Emperor Napoleon I, since that is what the roof was designed after. Now, we'll be able to see a gorgeous colonial style yellow cottage as we continue to turn. It's in that little alcove there. Now, a way to find this island is by its flagpole. Now, this flagpole is housing both the American and the Canadian flag. Because of this, this indicates that an American citizen lives here on Canadian waters. And as we continue to turn in that little alcove on the island, you'll be able to see the cottage that I mentioned. To the right of the boat is the town of Gananoque. Now, it is identifiable by its many church spires and the town's waterfront. Now, Gananoque is a small resort town which was settled approximately. Now, most of the earliest cottages that were built here were built between 1840 and 1910, and they followed the three main design themes of the Victorian era of Canadian architecture. Now, these three styles of Canadian architecture in the Victorian era are Gothic Revival, Stick Style, and Queen Anne, and we will be seeing some of these styles throughout our tour, throughout the Admiralties. Now, currently to the left of the boat, you will see a white bridge that houses a Canadian flag. This is known as a spooning bridge. Now, this bridge is a type of bridge that basically bridges one small island to another. Now, if you missed the one that we recently just passed, don't worry, we will be seeing another one very, very shortly. So you will get to see an example of a spooning bridge. Now, to the right of the boat is McDonald Island, which is now a part of the St. Lawrence National Parks. Now, during the Second World War, McDonald Island was the home to a sea cadet camp, and it later earned it the name of the Rotary Club after the camp. Now, there is no record to how McDonald Island received its name. It's clear. Now, currently to the right of the boat, you are going to be seeing a cottage known as La Vignette. Now, the name of this cottage means the small design at the beginning or the end of a book. And as an example of what Queen Anne style architecture looks like. Now, to the right of the boat, oh my goodness, there we go. Sorry, it cut out on me, guys. To the right of the boat is stone. In 1886. The cottage was constructed on the mainland in pieces and then brought to the island to be assembled into one cohesive building. This cottage shows the stick-style architecture of the Victorian era. Message of romance. For example, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Detouring through that cluster of islands that I showed you on the maps. But we're on our way back pretty much.
Past this ferry, that means that we are now entering into the Bateau Channel. Now you'll remember that I mentioned earlier that the Bateau Channel is the smallest of about 3 channels that ships can navigate through in the St. Lawrence River. Now this channel is named after the type of flat-bottomed boat known as a bateau, which functioned as the principal mode of transportation on the river until the larger channel.
Well, that concludes our Thousand Islands cruise. That was great, eh?
Yeah.
Where it all began.